Item number 5, consider establishing a date for the 2014 SPLOST referendum. William?
Okay. Back in August, the board actually voted to move ahead with the referendum for SPLOST, and at that time, it was said that it would be in June. 3 days after you all made that vote, we were notified by the state elections office that there had been a court order and that vote now was moved back to May. A little after that, Commissioners Gardner and Commissioner Ray volunteered to work with staff on future projects for a 2014 SPLOST. We've had 2 meetings since then. We are ready to present our proposed projects to this board for consideration. I went over those proposed projects with Commissioner Miller and Commissioner Johnson last Friday, with Commissioner Ray and Commissioner Gardner last Tuesday when we did pre-agenda. I haven't gone over them with you yet, but we are prepared within the next week or two to submit to you a list of projects for a 6-year SPLOST. In order to go 6 years, you have to have an intergovernmental agreement with the cities, so everyone would have a say. It's estimated that this SPLOST will bring in approximately $49.8 million based on current collections. We're about a little over 8% under our estimates. There's only 2 dates in 2014 that you can have a SPLOST vote. They are at November general election and the May 20th general primary. I was in a meeting with Kenny and with Curtis Jones this morning. I asked Superintendent Jones when the school board anticipated their meeting, their referendum call. Their SPLOST ends June of 2015, so they are looking at either a November or a March 2015, November 2014 or March 2015.
So if they go with the March 2015, that means their collections will end?
They would end in June and pick right back up in July, because they have a full calendar quarter, April, May, and June of collections, so that it will not cease.
When is their SPLOST end?
June of 2015.
Can they have a SPLOST in March of 2015?
Yes. Checked with Terry Colling. There is a election that can be held in March of 2015. November is the general election. I believe Orchard Hill is probably ready with their project list to submit, it sounds like. Sunnyside is ready with their list, and I think, Kenny, you all have pretty much ironed your list out.
We've had discussion.
So we could have the meeting, the required meeting by law in January with the cities, come up with an intergovernmental agreement and all the projects listed by the end of February, so the ballots could be, the wording on the ballot could be finalized, and we could move ahead with the May.
I'm just not comfortable with that. I think we're rushing it. I haven't seen the list of projects that that you guys are recommending. I don't know that you've had a conversation with this Kenny or the city about what kind of joint projects that we may look at to be projects that will be upfront projects. And I haven't seen the email, so I really don't know. But you should know as well as I do that that's not a process that happens quickly. The last SPLOST, and I repeat myself, the last SPLOST that we had was a transportation SPLOST. It took a lot for me to try to understand what it is that was going to happen. I know that lots of people didn't vote for it because they had a gazillion different pieces of information, most of which was incorrect. And basically, they felt like it was crammed down their throats. They didn't have an opportunity to say what they wanted or to be a part of the process. And every SPLOST that I've been involved with, that citizens are involved with, it has the best chance of passing. I think educating people, getting people's input about what they'd like to see happen is very important, and I don't think that can happen for us in 5 months. I mean, I think just, not that I'm saying anything about the city, Kenny, but the last time we did this, it was 2.5 months before we could get together on what we wanted to do together. You know, what I hear about the SPLOST list, that the suggested SPLOST list that, and I'm just gonna be frank because I haven't seen it. And I guess, I mean, I don't know that it's general public, or we can say whatever we want to say about it now, and if I'm not supposed to say anything, y'all must say something, because I'm gonna say something. Okay. Part of the suggestion I see is that, you know, we try to pay off some of our debt, the county's debt, you know, and buildings that we have and stuff like that. Which, you know, from where we're sitting up here, that's fine. But if I were sitting at home in my living room, I'll be saying like, so y'all couldn't do what you need to do with the budget, so now you want me to vote for a SPLOST so you can pay your bills off. But you don't want to give me anything to enrich my life. So I'm not saying it's not a bad thing for us to ask for some money to pay our bills off, but I'm saying that the people that we need to support the SPLOST may not have that same interest. And I think that we need to take an opportunity to find out what people want, what they're interested in. You know, we have an industrial park full of land. The city of Griffin has more water than anybody can give us. We got a big Highway 16 going out to the highway. We might even have an airport sometime soon. But why would any prospect come here when there's nothing for their family to do? I mean, you can play softball in the spring. What can you do in the winter? We don't have anything. Where can you go to the library? Where can you go to use a computer for free? There's lots of stuff that we need around here. And I mean, this is not a wish list. This is a what do we really need in this community list. And I just think that if we don't take the extra steps to get the citizens involved, at least to share what their desires are, we're not gonna get anything passed. We won't get anything, and they won't get anything. So my suggestion, as I've stated before, is that I think that we should hold a SPLOST date in November, even though I know that you say that there's a new, what's the guy's name? Commissioner of something. He may not let us just continue to collect in January, but I would much rather miss 3 months of collections than 5 years and 9 months of collection, because we tried to push it through. So that's my commentary on that. Anybody else want to share? Have at it.
Based on the approval of the board, Chipper and I agreed that we would work on potential SPLOST projects. We talked to William back, the first meeting was right after that, was approved. We could set the land, we set basically the mindset in action to look at reducing our overhead costs, which is the debt on property that we own. In doing that, we would be able to improve the county's cash flow. Improving the county's cash flow would mean that we would be able to turn back some of the money we had to increase in this year's tax taxes. That was one of the primary objectives. So we're cleaning up something that we've had, that we need to clean up, and that's cash flow. It makes it easier for the county. It comes back as a reward for our citizens to say thank you, being number one. Then we looked at projects, and we talked about all kind of projects: roads, public works, parks and rec, you name it, we pretty much covered it. But then we came back down to what was needed, what the priority was, and that's where the list came up, based on, the final list came up. We've identified it by project, we've identified it by, pretty much by cost. That way we've got it all ironed out. I don't think we're trying to push anything. I think now it's just a question of educating the public, informing the public, working with our sister cities or municipalities in Spalding County, and facilitating what they need. There are different projects on there which benefit all involved, all Spalding County people, our citizens, to include the city of Griffin, Orchard Hill, and Sunnyside. And I think we just need to look at the overall list. And you weren't available last week and out of town, so I don't want to shoot it down before we even have a chance to talk about it.
Well, it's not my intent, Commissioner Ray, to shoot it down. I just must have had a lapse in memory because I don't recall the meeting where we decided that you and Commissioner Gardner and Williams should create a priority SPLOST program to bring back to us.
We volunteered, and everybody said okay.
I'm having a lapse on that. I don't know if anybody else is, but I don't. And that's fine. But I feel like based on what I've been told about the list is based on the priorities that y'all want to see happen. And I say y'all, the people who discussed it. I mean, I think it's important to say that we don't have to charge taxes to the taxpayers by paying off our bills, that would help them out. But not really, because it's still their money, you know, and then what benefit are they gonna see? I mean, are their taxes really gonna roll back? And, you know, like I said, I mean, I would like to see you, because I'm pretty sure if that's the way you wanna go, or if that's the way we go, you're gonna need a long time to convince people that that's gonna benefit them when you help pay the bills off.
So my only question here, and I, of course, got a chance to look for the list, believe me, went over it. I think paying off debt service, I think is important. But I guess I'm more concerned about the time frame as well. You know, I mean, are we setting up something to know what time you plan on doing this? Well, like, what's your plan, what's the agenda here? Are we gonna meet, talk about it, and then create a plan of action here so that we can let people know we don't have that within ample time? That's the thing that concerns me. I mean, it really is, for me, it's all about the time frame.
Well, if a decision is made here tonight, my plan was to give a King and Spalding and iron out when do we need to have a meeting with the city, when do we need to have everything done, and give you a firm timeline with drop dead dates for each item that has to be done. But I can do it for both May and November, if that's what you need. And have that first meeting in January 6th.
Sounds like a plan.
In the meantime, we will finalize preparation of that list for everyone, and Chairman Flower said I'll be happy to go down with it. It's in my handwriting now, so it's scratch. But essentially, it's debt service, it's the 911 center, CAD system, phone system for the 911 center. It's soccer lights. It's 60 miles of resurfacing, 10 miles per year for the 6 years. And it's got a little money in there for bridges, and then the remainder of the funds are for paving dirt roads. This year, or with this SPLOST, you have to list individual projects. You can't just say like transportation. We asked to list the Jordan Hill Road Bridge. Resurfacing 10 miles, here's the 10 miles. paving this road, this 2 miles of dirt road a year. This is the 2 miles.
Does it have to identify the road you go pave?
Yes, sir.
And the distance being paid in before.
Yes, sir.
And you also mentioned that if we did decide to do the soccer lights, that you were looking into maybe hotel, motel tax, maybe doing that.
If we cannot do hotel motel, that's correct.
It would free up some.
Well, I just tell you right now, that's totally, I mean, I can't see that. So, yeah, you're gonna need some real discussion about that, because I don't see that flying one bit. I'm gonna be frank with you. If we think for 1 second that we're gonna get people to spend another penny for another 6 years because we're gonna pave some roads and we're gonna pay off our bills, I don't know where y'all shopping at, but y'all have try to go back and look. That ain't gonna work. So, you guys do what you wanna do. I'm just gonna make a motion that we consider establishing a date for the 2014 SPLOST referendum for November of 2014.
You wanna go wait and look at the alternatives, the first meeting in January?
I mean, I'm making a motion. You can not vote for it, or you can vote for it. I think we're rushing it. I think we're trying to push something down people's throats, and I don't think it'll pass if we do it. So I made a motion to select a November 2014 SPLOST date, seconded by Commissioner Johnson. Is there discussion? All those in favor, show of hands. 3, those opposed, 2. Item 6, update